What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Sunday morning, February 22nd, 2026. It is a few minutes to 8 here in the morning. I am heading on an emergency service call. We have an existing residential client that's got a couple gas-fired furnaces in their home. And the furnace for the first floor went out last night. He went on our website, pipedoc.net, created the appointment, paid the emergency trip charge, and now we're on the way. I think it's like a Luxaire gas furnace, 80%er. Let's get him up and running. That's the goal. I pray. Hopefully something simple. You guys ready? Let's go. My seatbelt's on. It's that stupid bag on the passenger seat. See? Seatbelt's on. The YouTube police are going to write me a ticket. A traffic citation. They think you. Derek! What's up? Almost got killed.
How
are you?
Thank God, surviving. I turned it off, turned it on a couple of times. And
okay.
It finally started, but when it started, it took like, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Before it went out again?
From the time, from the time it clicked at the thermostat. It was like, and then it finally started blowing. And then when it started blowing, it was cool air. And then after a few minutes, it started warming up.
So now it's working again?
So now it's working.
Oh, man, that sucks.
But there's something definitely wrong. Like that noise, it was like, like a car trying to rev.
Yeah, okay, turn the thermostat up.
Okay.
Let's see what it's doing. Why that's sitting there like that. Okay, there's the inducer assembly. Once the pressure switch on the inducer assembly senses that movement of air, then the rest of the circuit will work, hopefully. Now you got ignition. On that blower, I don't think that's on yet. There's the blower. So the blower is on. So since you booked that appointment and you did those steps, has it worked consistently? Or do you notice any change of the sound that it's running at now? Granted, you're standing right in front of it, but
that sound with that revving at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was what it did earlier. That's not normal. That sound, right?
which
the revving.
Well, I gotta see what it's like that.
Yeah.
Then it could be was any air coming out of the vents when or is this running? Or did it make any noise when
it's making that noise? No, nothing's coming out of the vents yet.
Okay, but did you hear other noises like? Let's turn it back on and see what happens. So there's that motor. There's the hot service igniter glowing. It's like an electric element on the stove. Now ignition, gas valve opened. And then shortly thereafter the blower's gonna come on. So I'll get some tools out. We'll check out the motor, the blower motor itself. That's the only thing that can, like, when it first tries to come on, goes, and then it turns, then it maybe fully cycles, spins. Other than that, it's very, very hard to troubleshoot something when it's already running. Very, very hard. Daniel went on Friday morning, sent me an email last night, like, how's it working all day? I've been putzing with it all day long, and you guys didn't do anything. I was like, well, we went there on Friday morning, and the system was running. And we spent almost an hour trying to test everything. I was like, but we couldn't duplicate a problem. Like, it's like going to a doctor. Like, I'm sorry, you know, but we'll come back, you know, but never got back to me. But they are new. They are prescription, but they're also video glasses. So when I turn them on, it gives me, I can take video of what I'm doing, which is pretty cool. So let's just see what this thing is reading. Because as far as motor humming, this part will cause that to hum. It's called a capacitor. It's like a battery for the motor. You also have one on there. It's inside there probably. That helps the motor start and stay running. And this one is reading 7.56, and it is a 7.5. We will check one more thing. That's the amperage of that motor. I'll have to get a meter for that. All right, let's test. I'm going to test how much amperage this thing uses when it runs. And
yeah, was it last year or the year before we had a problem where these doors weren't?
yeah, it's like right now, it's annoying. This.
You could see the tape from when we tried
Yeah.
to keep it closed.
That one. Let's see if I could switch these over. No, not really. Hold on, let me see if I can. There it is. Oh, look at that. And that is using a lot of current.
Yeah, that noise is not like what we normally used to.
This. Oh, that's gonna suck. So using 4 amps, now down to 1. That's weird. Oh, because it was charging the hot service igniter. Where's that sticker? No sticker. How was that? Oh, the screw fell somewhere. 11 amps of power. Where is the sticker for this bad boy? Not in here. 10.8. That's high for a furnace, for a motor and a furnace.
It's overworking to try to turn on.
Yeah, the motor itself, which I already tested the that capacitor for. Oh, I'm an idiot. I really am an idiot. I never put that back on. Look at that. I am an idiot. Okay, take 2. Let's just test just the inducer motor right now. 0.3. Everything. That's going to start getting power. That hot service igniter. 5.8. Your thermostat, is it a Wi-Fi thermostat or regular thermostat?
Regular.
All right, turn the thermostat, the heat. Oh, wait a second. There's a relay. So I think now it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is if there's a call for heat and I turn the power back on, it does a proper sequence of blowing the air through this whole system and then turning on. But 7.4, 7.8, 8 amps of power. There comes your hot service igniter.
That process used to be much faster.
Shorter, yeah. Well,
For the
and
time
there's
that
your
the thermostat says turn on,
yeah.
it was pretty instant that you would hear the thing click, and it wasn't as loud of a noise, and then the hot air would come.
Yep. Let's check.
Is that part we replaced 5 years ago?
Well, this is the part we replaced 5 years ago, the inducer assembly. That sucks the gas through the system and outside your chimney.
Okay.
There's a few components here that all work together, but they all do work together, but this one comes on first. This actual device here senses the air movement with these tubes and then tells everything else to run. So the next step is, the gas valve gets power after this energizes, and I want to check this real fast. I should be able to do it with it running. Check the ohms of this, of our hot surface igniter, which is, it's within range, 58. So this is okay. And you're using 5.8 amps of power. I would have to look up the model and serial number of the furnace, look up the actual spec sheet and see how much amperage it should be using. But one more test we can do, and let's dig in here. And heat should be the red wire. No, it's Park. Common Park. Really? So we're gonna test just the motor itself right now and see what that runs at. So there's that hot surface igniter. We're not using any power because the motor's not on yet. I just want to see what kind of amperage that uses, because that's the revving sound that you're hearing. If that motor is dying, that's what it could be. So if that draws too much amperage, we know it's the motor, and we gotta get you a motor. There's the motor. That's a lot of power to start. Let's see what it goes. It stays running at 5.48. 4.8 amps.